So today I want to conduct a little experiment. My earliest movie memory, not my earliest memory in life, but my earliest like movie-going memory or memory from pop culture, I guess, is the movie Hjälp, jag är en fisk. Today is the 16th of April 2023. Yesterday I released a video about Toy Story on the main channel, and in it, in a throwaway line, I mentioned Hjälp, jag är en fisk, and that premiered on the 20th of October in the year 2000. I think I was 6 years old at the time, I'm not gonna do the math now. However, something funny happened in the comment section of that video, so I'm gonna get my phone here. For some reason, one specific scene from that film has stuck with me throughout my entire life, and I'll get to describing that scene in just a little bit. But in the comment section of that video, from someone named Pineapple Frosty Fruits, saying that Hjälp, jag är en fisk is actually a really fun kid action movie with beautiful animation and everything. And then someone called The Mads C, I'm assuming that's a Danish person, saying that they remember Hjälp, jag är en fisk, or Danish, yeah, these Danish, Hjälp, jag är en fisk. That's my approximation of Danish. And they say not the full, that they don't remember the full plot, but they remember parts of it. And they said, haven't rewatched it either, but I remember it had a fucked up ending. So I got back to that, and I replied by describing how I remember the ending going, because that's the thing that stuck to me all these years is how the ending goes. And I did, and they got back, Mads got back, and said that it's exactly how I remember it too. So I'm kind of tripping out over this shared memory of the ending specifically. I wouldn't mind a video on that movie, even if for the second channel. And yeah, this is that, but it's not gonna be like me talking about the whole movie or anything. Now what I want to do is I want to describe how I remember that ending, because for some fucking reason it stuck with me through all these years and I have never rewatched it. I've never heard anyone talk about it, I've never looked anything up on YouTube, nothing. So this is actually really interesting to me. Probably not for anyone else, but for me. So now I'm gonna describe how I remember the scene, and then I'm gonna watch the movie, and when we get to that scene, I'm gonna turn the camera back on. And we're gonna see how correct I was. And yeah. So let me describe the scene to you. Oh fuck, I forgot the tea. So the general setup, as I remember it, is that there's a main gang of fish. There's like a cool main character fish with like I think he has like a mohawk, or that's how I perceived him at least. Then there's what the fuck is manet? Jellyfish. There's a jellyfish with like round glasses, and I think he's like a fat kid originally. But since I have seen the poster, I think that this doesn't really count as a memory so far. But I think that the general setup is that they are kids who get turned into fish for some reason. And then I have no idea what happens in the entire movie, but in the end, they are... Okay, so here's me describing the scene so we can compare it later. They're underwater, obviously. And I think they are inside of a shipwreck. I think it might not be like a big metal. It might be like, you know, the inside of the fucking Titanic kind of vibe. But it might also be that it's just like you see the round, kind of like the hull, and that it's like decayed a lot or whatever. But yeah, and they're in there with the bad fish, the antagonist. And the antagonist has a juice that makes you human. And he's holding it in like a vial, classic like cartoon, either like a triangular bottle or one of those that just are like that. The poison for Cusco, those sort of bottles. And they like, they don't quiz him, but they're asking him like questions that a human would know, right? So for example, it could be like, is the sun up during the day or the night? And he takes a swig from the juice that makes you human. And then his like body contorts. He takes a swig and then it's like... kind of like how Bane kind of contorts in Batman of Shanghai. I'll put a little animation or something here so you can just see. It's like the body goes like... like that. And so that happens. Like he drinks and he goes, the sun's up during the day, obviously, or something. I don't these specific questions I'm pulling out of my ass. I'm just making something up as I go because I have no memory of like what they ask. But they ask like several questions, and for each one, you know, maybe they ask like how many wheels does a car have, and he goes 4. I know this. Okay. How many hours are there in a day? And he goes 12, and it's a 24-hour day cycle, you know, shit like that. And then they ask, and can humans breathe underwater? And he takes it and he downs everything that's left in the bottle, and he goes and now he's like almost fully human, and he goes no. And then immediately after he says that, he goes and he drowns and he dies. And that's it. That's my memory. And there might be something about a lighthouse right there at the end. Like that they go to the lighthouse somehow. And there might be a telescope in there. And then they get turned back into kids, and they're like laying on the ground and there's like water. Might be something like that, but I might be making that up. That came to me just now, actually. But yeah, so now I'm gonna find where I can watch this movie, and then when we get closer to the end, or if there's anything else, I'm gonna turn the camera on as I'm watching it. Cool, I'm stoked. It's probably gonna be interesting for no one else except me and maybe Mads. Let's do it. Shooting this on my phone here, but gotta mention, I'm not gonna scroll down because I'm worried about spoilers, but I ended up renting it on YouTube because that's a thing you can do now. Probably for a while, I don't know. And the top comment here says, nostalgia trip. Like, what a trip down memory lane, nostalgic. I saw this when I was 3-4 years old, and insanely enough, I remembered some parts of this movie that scared me. So like, more people have had this experience, which is crazy. It didn't really scare me for what it's worth, as far as I remember, but still, this seems to be like a thing. Now I'm even more stoked to watch it. Well, I just started it. I'm not gonna be filming this entire time, so I'll just cut here. This is terrifying. I'm terrified of huge things underwater, and there's just like a whale, and it's fucking terrifying. So we saw a lighthouse before, but now they went into this weird little building, and it has all these vials and stuff. So I wonder if I mixed up those two, and it's actually not a lighthouse, but it's instead this, whatever this weird building is. I'll throw up a picture of how it looked. Those two might have been the same. Guess we'll see. I love, the scientist just calls it fish elixir. Yeah, that's the bottle. I'm pretty sure that's the vial. I just saw the main character become the fish that he is. And he's actually, it's not a mohawk. It's more of like bangs. More of like a cool, you know. He also has a little fish hat. I don't know, but... Yeah, that's the villain. I recognize him. Wow, yeah, I recognize him. Okay, we're getting into the last 15 minutes of this thing now, and I have started a screen recording. I'll be able to sync it up, whatever. Here we go. You think Sasha will be turned into like a dog? I think Sasha will come with them and also get the anti-fish potion and get turned into a dog or a cat. Maybe even like a pony. Oh shit! Yeah, they're not in a boat, they're inside this pipe, and it's gonna get too big to fit. Yeah. Yeah, this is it, yeah. Wow, this is wild. Oh, wow. That was very accurate. I had some details wrong, but that was like very accurate and also very eerie. He just like silently like floated off. But that was exactly like I remember it. But it was math, not like questions about. But Sonia, when I told you last night about this memory,
Yeah.
didn't I use math as an example?
Well, first one was math, and then you just did random stuff.
Yeah, but I did math first, right?
Yes.
Because that was what my go-to. But then I thought that wouldn't make sense. Why would he ask about math and then ask about like humans? So when I recorded before my predictions, I didn't use the math example, which I now realize that I should have. But you're my witness that math was actually my first one.
Yes.
That's fucking wild.
I'm gonna go do dremeling.
Okay. So that's Hjälper jag en fisk? I would say that my memories were weirdly accurate, actually. I was kind of blown away by how exact it was. So it wasn't in a boat, and I kind of mixed up the lighthouse and the scientist's weird little tower house, but that feels like it makes sense that I would have thought that was the same as a kid, not really fully following all the details like kids are. And yeah, when they were in the pipe, I was like, yo, this is where it happens, I think. And then it did. That was wild. Overall, kind of a fun movie. It was very spooky at times. It had a lot of like jump scares and some kind of dark imagery, so that was surprising. I don't know if I would go as far as to be like, yeah, definitely check it out or whatever, but it wasn't bad, I'll say that. So if you have kids and you want to watch a, I guess, underrated, yeah, it's underrated, at least unknown animated movie, try this one out. I rented it on YouTube. Anyway, my earliest memories, I keep calling it that even though it's not necessarily technically my absolute earliest memories, but you know what I'm saying. Turns out that they're pretty accurate, which I think means that I can also fly, and that's cool to know. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.